Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with Our Trade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, mapping out your week ahead. Special welcome to new people, and I will explain what we do here in a few words, what we're trying to do. It's very simple. Just create a plan to get a little bit more organized in our trading, prepare ourselves for the upcoming week. And that's, as I usually quote the traders when they say you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. A few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I've been involved with trading since June of 2000 when I started my prop trading career. I did it for about 11 years, that day trading, intense day trading. And after that, I moved into a less stressful environment and I started to mentor and educate other traders. And I'm very happy that I have an opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar, we look through indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. We talk a little bit about the big picture, what's waiting for us. Also, we'll take a look at the charts of a lot of instruments, as we said, indices, stocks, commodities, and Forex. Risk warning, you can find a full statement at avatrade.com website. Of course, what we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media channels, please feel free to subscribe and follow us on our social media channels. You have AvaTrade Telegram, you have X, which used to be Twitter, and AvaTrade YouTube channel, which is an amazing source of information and materials. You have tutorials, you have educational material, you have webinars, including this one. Some of you will be watching this on YouTube, so please feel free to click on likes, subscribe, click on the bell so you'll be notified. Feel free to share with people that might benefit from it. And of course, we will be happy to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, please write it down. Okay, so a few things. This past week was a short trading week. As we know, it was a Thanksgiving week. On Thursday, the markets were closed. Friday was a short session. So we pretty much had 3.5 days of trading in the US. And those days, of course, other markets were also slow. As you know, that US market is the leading one and others are really following it. So we also kick off the season, the Christmas season. So we have December, and this is the article, stocks are rallying hard as the economy refuses tobacco. Will it last in 2025? So this article you can find at marketwatch.com. And it says there that 72% of December's, the market continue higher. And as we know, December is famous for the Santa Claus rally. Some might argue that it already happened since Trump won. We had a huge move to the upside. So let's see how December is. And of course, the main concern of traders and all the market participants, how 2025 will look. President Trump take his position as president on 20th of January. Now, here's another one, nice article as well about Tesla. It says right here, Tesla has $1 trillion opportunity in AI and safe driving, and the Musk-Trump relationship should fast track it. As we know, they're pretty close. I think he also will have, Elon Musk, he will have a position in the White House as the consultant or advisor to the government to help them be more efficient. And as we know, since November 5th, when the results came out November 6th, Tesla's been on the run, and everybody's kind of projecting positive things to it. NVIDIA, this from Barron's, the article says right here, NVIDIA stock rises, why the good news is back. And also nice article if you can access it on Barron's. NVIDIA has been on a bad run since its earning last week, but the positive vibes have returned for the last trading day of November. The share rose 1.2% to 136.94, moving higher along with the broader chip sector rally. European semiconductor stocks laid a foundation for the U.S. gains Thursday as the U.S., I think this is the key phrase, as the U.S. plans to curb chip sales to China may not be as tough as expected, Bloomberg reported. So we'll take a look at the charts when we get to stock as well of both Nvidia and Tesla. So just to remind us here, Nvidia, they had really great earnings and projections were great, but I think the spoiled investors got disappointed that the projection or predictions for the future are not as bright as they were expected. So that was the reason Nvidia went down after the earnings. Okay, here we go. There's a little change here in the CME tools, the prediction on next interest cut, which should be announced on the 18th of December. If you remember, it was about 50-50 chance right here a week ago. A month ago was 72% probability of the 0.25% cut. Then a week ago was 52%, and we came back to 66%. So the chances are increasing of the interest rate cut on the 18th of December. Economic calendar, I'll say a few things, especially for new people that are not familiar with it. This is public information. You can access it on our web trader or the mobile app. Also, you can just Google it. As I said, it's public. You can know it ahead of time. What I do here, I take out only high impact events. As you can see, it's all in red. And you can choose whatever's relevant to you, to your trading. And I think it's important to know ahead of time of these things. So, it's all up to you whether you act upon it or stay away from trading before or during the announcements. But knowing that certain things are happening is very, very important. So the highlight of the week, of course, will be non-farm payroll on Friday. We'll go through all of it, and all of it is pretty much high impact. So Monday, retail sales from Australia, China PMI number. President Lagarde speaks again this week on Monday. PMI, manufacturing PMI from United States. Tuesday, we have CPI numbers from Switzerland. Governor of Bank of New Zealand speaking on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, GDP numbers from Australia. Another PMI, this time is service PMI from China. Here we get a little bit of an idea of employment, ADP employment change on Wednesday. Lagarde speaks again on Wednesday, president of ECB, service PMI from US, another speech of Lagarde. Wow, that's a lot of speeches. Thursday, we have trade balance from Australia, retail sales from European Union, and Friday, again, European Union GDP numbers, which is gross domestic product. And we have employment data, both Canada and US. Usually they report it. Just to explain, usually it happens on the first Friday of the month, where the NFP numbers come from the States. Canada reports usually the same Friday, the first Friday as well. So here we have non-farm payroll. That's how many jobs were added, hourly earnings and unemployment rate and other things that are very, very important. And this is the last employment number before the Fed's decision. So Friday is going to be the 6th. So 12 days later, we're going to have decision of the Fed as far as the interest rate. So these are the things to watch for this upcoming week as far as the economic calendar. Now, 10-year yields, as you know, I took a practice of showing it every week so we get an idea what's happening. And if you remember a few weeks back, I mentioned here that this is the sign of possible reversal. And since then, we've been sliding. This past week, we went down pretty much heavily from above 4.4 to closing at 419. And with that, why are we watching that? Usually, this puts downside pressure on US dollar. and pushes the gold higher. So let's see if that works when we get to the instruments. And these are the winners and the losers for the week. So on the left here, you have the commodities. So coffee was up 6% in the week. Cocoa was up 3+% on the week. On the losing side, the big loser was gasoline, 7.5%, and crude. I made a mistake. I'm missing an R here, so it became a crude oil, which is also cute. So this is crude oil, down 5.5%. Now, as far as the forex, we had a sell-off in the dollar, as we said. We can see it on the 10-year yields, and it worked. We have the big gainer was pound dollar up 1.6%, euro dollar 1.5, New Zealand dollar 1.47. And on the losing side, we had dollar yen down 3.25%, pound yen down 168, and dollar Swiss down 1.5. Okay, we'll talk more about forex specifically when we get there. Okay, so these are the commodities winners and losers, and these are the forex winners and losers. Okay, we're going to bring the chart now, and we'll start with China as usual. As we see here, so far we're holding this support over here. Again, for new people, just remind us what was all this move about. We went up when there was some serious actions by Chinese government to inject stability into the economy. We went up significantly, and then in 2 days we erased exactly 50% of that move. And after that, we tried to run again, we failed, and it looks like we have a double bottom here around 12,900. And let's see how that plays out. We have some, as we saw, manufacturing and service PMI from China, some numbers this week. Maybe we'll see some moves. So that's on China. Now, Japanese index, it's been flat here, and a lot of it to do with yen. Yen, when we get there this week, got some strength. So as of now, we didn't see really serious moves or reactions on the Japanese market on Nikkei 225. So let's see what happens. Now, U.S. markets, as we said, it was a short week. So we had Thursday, U.S. market was closed. The indices traded a little bit, then they traded a little bit on Friday as well. Let's see what happens. So we came to a brand new territory, it looks like it. Now, again, what you see here, these are the CFDs for the futures, right? So let's see what we did here. So the previous high was 6,053.25. We did break through it, but closed lower. So this is the sign that kind of we maybe not ready to pass this high over here. Important to notice that. Nasdaq is very interesting. We had a high breaking the previous high of July, and then we came back below, and it looks like this resistance is very, very strong. It's not letting us close higher here. And we also at the same time we're holding this trend line. We didn't have closing candles below it as well. So very important to notice this 20,985. That was the high of July 11 again, is playing a very, very strong resistance here. So unless we break and start building some price action above this level, it looks like the buyers are getting tired and the sellers could step in. But again, we are in December. So classical scenario for December is moving higher and closing on the highs. Dow Jones is the strongest. It just keeps on making all-time highs. We just had the highest closing all-time high, 45,034. So out of 3, US indices, the Dow Jones is the strongest. Germany had a nice end of the week with a nice pop, as I guess investors use this as an opportunity for the lack of US trading. So had a nice move to the upside, closing almost at the highs, trying to achieve the all-time highs. We're close to it. And UK actually had the down week. It looks like it. It started with a gap up and then closing the gap. And the whole week we stayed below the previous week's close. That's why in the weekly chart, as you could see here, let's see, the high of the previous week was 83.01, and we closed 83.5. We lost a half of the point. That's very interesting. So we did close that gap. All right, that's as far as the indices. Now, individual stocks, we said that we'll take a look at NVIDIA and Tesla first of all. So let's take a quick look. NVIDIA, as we saw here, after making all-time high, after the earnings, we had a turnaround. Actually, the earnings were right here, I think, on the 20th, I remember. The 20th was the earnings. The 21st, we had a huge spike up and down, and since then we went down, holding into 50-day moving average here. So as we said previously, Friday was a positive day. It was a short session also, so I guess we'll see how it will trade when we resume full-time trading on Monday. So that's NVIDIA. And Tesla, as we said, starting 6th of November, it was just skyrocketing like an X rocket, right? Moving higher, correction, confirmed the high, and Friday continuation. So we are holding very, very strongly here for Tesla, and we'll continue watching that. Now, maybe we should take a look at banks this upcoming week. It was a strong move. We started the week with a very strong move to the upside. And then Friday, we did close at all-time highs on Goldman. The same thing on JP Morgan here. This candle, again, we can't judge Friday as a full day because it was a short day, half a day trading. So I guess definitely we'll take a look at banks this upcoming week. They had the extended run, all of them to the upside. Also, as oil went down, we probably could take a look at the oil stocks, which is Exxon and Chevron. You could see here, they did react on Friday, a little bit to the positive, but we came down to break the 100 moving average. So we maybe will try to reach that 200 moving average if oil continues to slide. Chevron is actually holding. I guess they changed the roles. A while ago when we spoke about oil stocks, the Exxon was strong and Chevron was not actually, but it looks like they switched currently. Chevron looks a little bit stronger than the Exxon. Okay, let's take a look at the big guys really quick, how they do. We had a move up on Netflix. Apple also a nice move this past week to the upside. It looks like we're trying to break through the all-time highs. This is a triple test here to the highs. First, we made the high here on the 14th of July, then 13th of October, and then this is the week, right? The weekly chart. And last week, we tried again, but we didn't close. Actually, yeah, it could be the highest closing on Apple, yeah. Meta, Facebook, we did try, but we can't break the 50-day moving average. A lot of choppy trading here. Now, Google, as you know, all the uncertain situation with judges trying to break the company. That was the whole sell-off here. We tried to move higher, move down again, held the 200 moving average here. And this past week, we had a little bit of correction. Microsoft sitting right on the stick of all three moving averages. That means there's something is about to happen. But if you judge by the price action we keep on making, lower highs, but the low is holding around 409 here. This is the beginning of the big move back in June. A lot of actions around this level, around 409. So we'll keep an eye on that. Amazon, we did hold this level of 150. What is that? 199.5. That was the resistance from which we sold. We came back, confirmed it, and for now it looks like this level is a strong support, and we are trying to move higher from here. Intel is worth watching, as we know. A lot of attention to the company since the big sell-off when we reach around $18 here. So we are sitting on the stick of 150-day moving average here. We did close the gap. So if the market decides to go higher, we might bounce from here to the upside. We'll see how it works out, or we might dive close below 50 moving average. We might look for the support at the lower levels. Okay, so we said the stocks, we want to watch NVIDIA, we want to watch Tesla, we want to watch banking sector, oil stocks, and the big guys as we went through them. Okay. Going to commodities, let's see the winners and the losers. As we said, coffee was up 6%, and then we did have a correction. Was it Friday? On the 29th, we did have a correction. As you could see, coffee had a very strong run, 4 consecutive weeks to the upside, and Friday was a retracement. So we're going to watch if this is just the price action of the profit taking and continuation to the upside, or we might see a reversal to the lower levels. So that's coffee. Cocoa is back to being strong, as we said. Last week we had the strong move. This week we are continuing. So 3 consecutive weeks to the upside after we held this around 7,000 level. Super strong. We did close above the previous large candle of August. Definitely cocoa, we're going to continue watching. If we decide to go higher, we probably try to reach the 10,000 strategic number here, a psychological number. If we dive below and start closing below 9,200, we might slide again lower. But that's on cocoa. And let's take a look at the losers. We had gasoline and crude oil. So gasoline doesn't look strong at all. We did have a channel here for a while. We tried to move higher, came back in, and this is the first closing below this 190 level since September. So there's a strong downside pressure for gasoline. In case we decide to move lower, we might retest this 188 level from which we made a high back in beginning of October. So that's gasoline. Now let's take a look at gold. Like we said, with the 10-year yields moving lower, we could see the upside move on gold, and it did happen. We recovered maybe third of this drop. This was a big drop on the 25th when gold had a range between the high and the low, 115 points candle right here. So we did try this week to move higher. We did recover a little bit, but what we know now that the support of 26.05 is holding. That was the bottom of this candle, right? The low 26.503 as it shows here. So this is our strong support. It looks like it. The buyers come in from the same level as we had October 9 move to the all-time highs. So that's our support, and the resistance could be at 26.85. That's the previous resistance here for September 26. And if we pass that, this the top of this candle could be next resistance 27.20. So we're going to be watching gold definitely this upcoming week. Copper, as China is trying to recover, as we said here, showing a little bit of strength. Copper usually follows. So let's take a quick look at copper. We might see a lot of tails, a lot of attempts to move higher. We did close on Friday high, but very insignificant. So copper wants to run, but has an issue with it. So we are trading or closing around 413, 414. Here we know that 405.80 it's our support that we held on a few occasions. The big one was right here, September, from which we made a nice move to the upside. And we just had the retest here, a double bottom, you can say, at 405.80. Now, for the upside, pretty much open to possible 422 level. That was where this large candle stopped here. And that's where we had support, first resistance, and then support around 422. So we are trading in this tight channel between 105.80, 122. We're right in the middle. So that's copper. And let's take a look at natural gas. It is trying to run. If you remember, we mentioned this 3. The moment we break the 3, we might be open for continuation. And we did have a nice run on natural gas. We almost broke through a year-old level on October 22nd. We were at the highs of 364. This past week we hit 355.8, and this week we had the correction. So a nice move to the upside. This is back to the daily chart with the big sell-off on the 27th. Then this was 27 on 28th, where the move to the upside, and 29 continuation. But again, it wasn't a full trading week, so we'll see what natural gas will do. Okay, moving to Forex, and we start with US dollars. We said the 10-year yield should put pressure on the US dollar, and it did. We did break below 107 this week, and then we broke below 106.55, and I'll show you why. This is the level that we had. This upside move stopped right here, 106.52 back in September, and we back in that channel, which is roughly 106.55, the top and the bottom 101.21. If you remember last week, I mentioned that this was very significant. The first closing above that 106.55 mark. For exactly 2 years, we've been in this channel, occasionally coming out here and never came out to the upside. So if you remember, I said if we hold this above the channel, we might be moving higher, and if we step down again, we might be traveling lower, possibly retesting the bottom of this channel. So it didn't take long till we reversed and came right back to the channel. So this is very significant here. We're back into the channel. Downside pressure prevails here. So that's on dollar. Now, of course, if you go through the majors, we had a strong move to the upside. Let's go back to daily. Pound, nice recovery here from 125 to all the way 127.22 closing. As we said, the pair was up 1.61%. Euro, similar idea here, also nice recovery, recovering 1.53%. New Zealand dollar was the third out of champions, 14.7 since the bottom here. Nice recovery here. Now, Canadian, let's take a look at Canadian dollar. Also, there was a strong move in dollar CAD, and this all week we've been selling. We still didn't reach this important level of 139.45. That's what the sell-off started here, 139.45 on August 5th. If we do reach that level and dive below, it could accelerate that move to the downside. If not, we might be holding this level again and see what's next. Now, as we said, on the downside, we had dollar yen, biggest loser here. Been just sliding for the whole week pretty much. Let's see how this week will play for dollar yen. Another one was pound yen, down 1.68%, and we are approaching the level of possible support here. And dollar Swiss sitting right on 200 moving average, actually closing below that level. And this is the first time since 27th of July. This could trigger continuation here, or we might hold this level, trying to catch up with the 50-day moving average, because as you see here, the 200 moving average is sliding, but the 50-day moving average is going to the upside. If they meet and the 50 crosses it, we might see something they called a golden cross that the market technicians are very happy to see as a sign of buying opportunity. So that's as far as dollar Swiss. And let's just take a look at the yen really quick, as it is or has been very strong against all the pairs. Here we go. Swiss yen, unbelievable move to the downside. The week we came from almost 174 to 169.70, about 400 pips right here. Australian, same thing, straight down. Canadian, straight down. Euro as well, approaching possible support. Pound, we already looked at, also possible support around here. And New Zealand dollar, straight down. So it looks like this week yen has been the strongest commodity, the strongest currency. And I think it has a lot to do with inflation, as inflation went up there, which potentially could push Bank of Japan to increase the interest rate. And that would logically lead to increase in the value of the yen. And I think the market reacted to it right after the inflation report. Okay, that's as far as the Forex world. And let's take a look at Bitcoin. Again, just to remind us, since November 5th, 6th, after the elections, everybody got excited. As we know, Trump is pro cryptocurrencies, and things are just moving higher. Take a look. We went, I think since then, we had November was about 30% upside move in Bitcoin. So it's been strong, a little bit of consolidation, higher correction. As of now, we're trading at 97,000. We did correct this past week. We went as low as 90,665 and back up to 97. So that's crypto. Potential possibilities are there. As we know, Trump is very positive towards crypto. We know that the SEC will be stepping down, and somebody new is being appointed by Trump. So a lot of excitement in the cryptocurrency world. Okay, so first of all, don't forget about the social media. Subscribe, write your comments. YouTube, as it's being my favorite, please subscribe, share, click on likes only if you like it. And let's just summarize what we spoke about today. The highlight of the upcoming week, of course, is the NFP, non-farm payroll, and that's one of the three aspects that the Feds are watching. It's inflation, the state of economy, and the employment situation. Those are three major aspects that Feds are using in their decisions as far as the interest rate. And we have NFPs on Friday. We have other data that we went through, very important. We're back to the full trading week. We also kick off, of course, with the Black Friday. We should see numbers of retailers, which are very strong. And it looks like positive momentum in the market. Normally, we should see the Santa Claus rally going towards the end of December. As we said, one of the articles said that the 73% probability of each December, or out of all Decembers, I think 73 out of them were positive. A lot of holiday shopping, a lot of spending, a lot of excitement of consumers. We might see slowing down because we did have a huge rally since election of Trump. So it's going to be interesting. The whole month is going to be interesting. A lot of moves. Also, a lot of funds are going to be reshuffling their positions. So we might see some heavy volumes and some of the stocks going into the funds, leaving the funds. Also, a lot of actions in the stock market with people buying and selling as they're using this as an opportunity to kind of arrange with the taxes, because you pay taxes by the end of the year, beginning of next year. So usually December, a lot of moves on the stock market. And it's going to be exciting because what we need as traders is volatility. We need the market to move, okay? I want to wish everyone a good weekend. Still have a full Sunday, depends where you are in the world. And get some energy, prepare yourself for the busy week. And I want to wish everyone successful and a happy week ahead. All the best. Take care.